and it's a great honor and pleasure to address this huge gathering here. On this auspicious occasion of Janma Jayanti of our great leader, Shraddhe Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, and I would like to extend my Abhinandan to him that today we are celebrating a good governance day also on his birthday. On the dais with me, we heard Selvi Damodar ji and Dinamalar ji, Satish Kumar ji. On my dais along with me was Lakshmi ji, President, District President, Sundar Raman ji, who has invited and organized this program, coordinated this program, and Ravi Kumar ji. Friends from media and all district office bearers, ladies and gentlemen. It is a proud moment for me, and Tamil culture has always been and attracted me, and not only me, the whole country is attracted and looks towards Tamil culture. The Prime Minister has lot of appreciation whenever he meets and whenever there are our party meetings. He has been for long talking about how rich Tamil culture is. So meeting all the people from here is a great pleasure for me. I have been to many places and I have seen whether it is Malaysia, Europe and even African countries and US also. Tamil people have made great inroads, whether it is economy, whether governance, business, industries, everywhere, intellectual cultures area, everywhere. Tamil people have made great proud for India. So I revere that also. And because today Dinamalar ji called me the state president, he is not only liked and inspires people from Tamil Nadu, but he is inspiring people, young people across the country. I have great appreciation for the way he works. I have been meeting with him. So we are all lucky to have such inspiring leader in Bharatiya Janata Party. In the last National Executive meeting, we heard when he talked about the Tamil Kashi Sangam, the Prime Minister specifically said that a great movement has started from Tamil Nadu after almost 5,000 years. The revival of Tamil Kashi Sangam, then Tamil Saurashtra Sangam. And he spoke extensively on what was the concept, how that revival of that cultural ties that Kashi and Tamil had, and the way we are taking forward under the leadership and guidance of Prime Minister Modi, that also inspires me all. Today the topic has been given to me about on the day of good governance, India at 2030, challenges and way forward. This is very important. And when I'm talking about good governance, when we came to power in the center in 2014, on the first occasion, the Prime Minister talked about that Swachh Bharat mission. And many people said that from the rampant of Red Fort, a Prime Minister in his first lecture is talking about Swachh Bharat, building toilets in remote areas. And then he gave a figure that we will create defecation-free villages everywhere. We will build toilet in every house. And that was the movement which was supported by the people later on. And after that, what he said was, he talked whenever there was any scheme of the government, whenever there was any announcement from the central government, he always used to talk about the numbers. If the Prime Minister said that we will open Jan Dhan account, bank account for the financial inclusion of the people, He initially gave a figure of 7.5 crore, but finally what we have is more than 50,000 crore, 50 crores bank account in the country. There, on the Ujjwala Yojana, everywhere he has given a figure, and the government has managed to cross that figure, create an ecosystem where there is a corruption-free, leakages-free delivery of the government schemes, delivery of the government schemes to the people, to the targeted people. And we also remember in the past how the governance models were working. The Prime Minister, once a Prime Minister of the country said that if the government announces and gives announces a benefit for the people, only 15 paisa out of 1 rupee reaches to the common man. And the President in his opening address in the Parliament said that in the last 9-10 years of our governance at the center under Modi ji, 29 lakh crores were delivered through the government schemes and without any leakages. Not even 1% of any amount was leaked or lost in the corruption. Every penny reached to the common man. And why? Because in the first 5 years of our governance, what the Prime Minister did, he created an ecosystem of welfare delivery mechanism. He said that India is now becoming a people of aspirational India. People of India are aspiring to become economically strong, come to the global arena, and they are, and whenever we were talking in the party platforms, etc., at times when he used to talk about some numbers or do this, we were also very apprehensive that if those numbers are created or said in the public platforms, and if we are not able to achieve that, it will be very difficult. But he had always been that the good governance, from where good governance comes? Good governance comes from delivery of government schemes to the people, coming out with a vision where we want to take India in the coming future, and how we will create a roadmap, build an ecosystem of delivery mechanism, and that way he had been giving about a good governance model. So the thing is, through the beginning, always he has been talking about identifying the challenges, identifying the problems, acknowledging those problems, and then finding a technical solution to those problems. When everybody was talking that India is bogged down by corruption, leakages, everything, people do not get the benefit of the government schemes, their benefits are lost in between. So he created a Jan Dhan account ecosystem. Then through direct benefit mechanism of direct benefit transfers, he connected each and every scheme to those bank accounts, and then with a single click of button, the benefit to the targeted person who was the beneficiary of each scheme, the money went to that person, and he, without any leakages. So the thing is, one thing, he acknowledged the problem where I am connected with the financial market, industries, banking, professions. Initially, the first in the RBI government economic survey report, we came out with a report that there is on the financial market, the banks are on the financial ecosystem, banks are bogged down with huge debt, NPS, non-performing assets. And at the same time, due to certain phone banking and other schemes, corporate sector was over-leveraged and they took over loans and they were not able to give service to them, so their balance sheet became over-leveraged. So the first thing he said that we will identify the NPS. Then the government came out with insolvency bankruptcy code. The third thing was that, as I said about the social welfare thing, I'm talking about how the economy was revived. So then he came out after IBC. he came out with strengthening of the bank. 72,000 crores were infused in the banking sector to capitalize them so that they can continue their support of the economy. So the issue was come acknowledge the problem, find a technological solution to that problem. Then there are various stakeholders in every schemes or any issue. If in the banking sector there is banks, industrialists, there are financial institutions, regulator, RBI is there. So then finance ministry is there. So he integrated all these stakeholders into that technological solution. Similarly was done in the service delivery mechanism also. Then he opened bank account for every person. In the bank account, he connected all the schemes. Then through digital public infrastructure, he created an ecosystem of digital connectivity, and through later on connected each and every schemes, and then money was transferred. So identified the problem, created a technological solution to the problem, integrated the stakeholders come together to one platform, and then create a matrix of accountability. Performance matrix was important. For every schemes, he announced a number that if I'll achieve, the target was given by this year, by this time, we will achieve this number of welfare schemes, or this was the target, we will sort out the NPA problem, we will strengthen the bank, we will integrate the bank, merge various banks, etc. Everything in the governance was given a target. Every person in the government was given a target so that his performance can be matched and his performance can be analyzed and he is held accountable. So this was the governance model he was applying, and therefore we see the first term in the first 5, we are in the second term of our government, Prime Minister Modi's government. In the first term, there was legacy problems that were bogging down the whole country. And then at that point of time, he created ecosystems into various fields. Even the laws, many of the laws were changed. Many of the new amendments were brought. Many of the different areas were created. So in the first 5-year term, he created an ecosystem where good governance could be implemented in the country. Aspirations of the people can be incorporated into the schemes, and a delivery mechanism, transparent, leakages proof, corruption free leakages system governance model can be implemented. Same thing when you are announcing different schemes. If your government is announcing so many schemes, welfare schemes, etc., lot of resources are needed. The leakages in the delivery was one issue, but even the tax collection systems, there was a big leakage. So the government came out with new initiative like GST, indirect tax. Whole system of indirect tax was new GST infrastructure ecosystem was created, where there is a complete audit trail, where there is you can completely online mechanism, assessment, refund, then all their refund, etc., can be analyzed. Their registration can take place online, and they have to do business in a hassle-free manner. Indirect tax, so many, almost 13, 14 taxes were there in the indirect taxes. They were merged into one GST, and complete technology was used. So GST was introduced. There was a good collection of taxes without any leakages. Now, initially, we were all paying indirect taxes to the tune of 25 to 30% of indirect tax. Every person was paying this much rate of indirect taxes. Last year, RBI came out with a report that under the GST system, indirect tax rate has been reduced to 11.6%, average indirect tax. And at the same time, tax collection has crossed 1,60,000 crores a month. So government has been able to generate resources, and reduce the taxes. Same thing is done with the corporate tax. We have reduced the corporate tax to a great extent. At one point of time, the average corporate tax was about 30%. Now it is 25%. And for startup ecosystem, for cooperative sectors, it is only 15%. Comparative to the global taxing system in Singapore, etc., when we are attracting so much of FDI, we need taxation structure system which is globally competitive. So still, direct tax collection has also increased by 26%. So government is creating ecosystem for good governance, creating resources without increasing taxes, without increasing direct and indirect taxes, even reducing them, controlling leakages from the taxation system, creating resources for the welfare scheme. And then what is our objective? Antyodaya, the benefit to the last person. Our ideology of Bharatiya Janata Party is benefit to the last person. That comes through good governance, good delivery mechanism. That requires resources. That is being done. So I wanted to give some background on this. I would also like to say, now Prime Minister has set up a goal for Viksit Bharat. Definitely that Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra might have come here, but it is going around every district with the governance. It has come. So Prime Minister has said that by 2047, we want India not to be a developing country alone. We want India to be a developed country. He has set such a target for all of us. And what he says, it is not the Prime Minister or the government alone will do. He is saying that Samuhik Sankalp, collective willpower through this 25 years of Atmanirbhar Bharat, after from 22, we have completed 75 years of independence. This golden period of 25 years from 22 to 47, this is an Amrit Kal. And in this Amrit Kal, through collective willpower, through collective strength, through collective effort, we will create a India which can not only create a good economy for the country, but provide leadership at the global level. That is the target that he has set. And what I would also like, that we are very clear, Bharatiya Janata Party, as ideologically, we are right to center party. We believe business community and industry is part of nation building. And we also know that if India has to lead the world, India has to be economically powerful country. Before we attain the global leadership status, we have to be economically powerful. India has a very long history, and Tamil culture, you must all know, you all know that we have a very long history of culture, tradition, Sanskriti, everything, thousands and thousands of years. Earlier, in when the Britishers came in some around 1,000 years, India was enslaved. Before that, when we were enslaved, India was controlling almost 26% of the global trade, contributing 26% to the global GDP. And at that point of time, we were economically very prosperous. Not only economically, due to that economic prosperity, every section of the sector of the country, whether it is art, culture, music, festival, handicraft, architecture, in all areas, India was global leadership because it was an economically powerful country and the world respected. And then in 1,000 years, we were enslaved due to various reasons. We will not go into that historical aspect, but I'll say in that 1,000 years, when the Britishers left us in 1947, our contribution to the world GDP was below 2%, around 2%. And at that time, there was poverty, uneducation, famine, all these things came. So Prime Minister knows that if India has to be a global leader, it has to be an economic power. If India has to achieve economic power, it has to respect business, industries, and every community. It has to work for the Antyodaya. It is not that the size of the cake also matters. If the governance model only talks about or thinks about distributive model, then there will be no resources for the government to go for welfare scheme. So you have to create wealth, then go for distributive model. Think of the persons who are left out of the economic progress, do something for them, create a governance model for their benefit. So it's a 360 degrees that he has been working on. He has set up a target. These are very important things that I wanted to talk about. And then on the second, something I would also would like to say on the second term. We are in the second term. First term, we were tackling the legacy issues. After 60 years of different government, though we had also for some part time, we will also see there was a period of Atalji's government for some time. But most of the time, UPA government was there. And in that period, there were so many legacy problems that had evolved and bogged down our country. At the global level also, India's esteem or India's image was not very good. Even we were being looked down about at the international level only. So the first term, ecosystem, the legacy issue, the governance model started with doing something for the tackling and settling the legacy issue, creating ecosystem for future growth, creating a system of governance which can give benefit or deliver benefit to everybody, and look after the economic growth and industry and business communities also. All those things were the target and focus in the first term. Then in the second term, the government came out with many reforms because economic reforms were very important. As I said, and some of the ecosystem that was created in the first term, the benefit of that started coming in our second term, whether it is the creation of the infrastructure, the amount of infrastructure that the government has created, the amount of roads, railways, airports, bridges, waterways. These are very important because he has been focusing on ease of doing business, ease of living. If you do not create infrastructure, neither industry can progress, there can be no ease of doing business or no ease of living. So the government spent huge amount, almost 11 to 12 lakh crores a year to create good infrastructure. That we see everywhere, how the roads have improved. So the infrastructure, reforms on banking sector, reforms on taxation sector, then what I said about the digital delivery mechanism and this digital public infrastructure that through banking system, the social welfare schemes are getting the right benefit to the last person. This is being appreciated across the world. And now, even in this G20 meeting, this one factor was appreciated a lot by the global community, that India offered this digital public infrastructure ecosystem of direct benefit transfer, the digital payment, digital transaction, creating audit trail and connecting schemes to the welfare schemes to the direct targeted beneficiaries. This digital public infrastructure has received a big resonance in G20. One of the major appreciation across by the people of the world was this digital public infrastructure mechanism, which the World Bank said that through this digital public infrastructure governance model that the Modi ji government has created, the welfare or the upliftment of poor sections of the society, which could have taken 47 years, has been squeezed into 6 years. That is the achievement. These are very important factors that we should understand. Why? Suddenly we see there is a change in the perception about India. I go to many countries. I see earlier big difference in the world people looking how India is at present. You must all be having that experience. This is because there are many factors on the ground that have created a big positive impact for the country. These are very important. And even this the way COVID was handled, you all know the way COVID was handled. The vaccination, the 230 crore people were vaccinated free of cost within a short span of time. And in a single day, vaccinations were being given to people, more number of people than some of the population of the countries. And not only domestically vaccinations were given free of cost, but even India through Vaccine Maitri gave vaccination to international countries, even African countries. And that has helped into creating a good visual for the government. So economic progress is very important, that the Prime Minister also understand. And the positive sentiment, I think what we are getting at present from the global community is because the world now understands and appreciates that in the coming 2-3 decades, the economic activity is going to shift towards India. And this shifting of economic activity towards India, and they want to participate in this economic activity. Therefore, they are putting up a lot of money. FDI, we have the foreign exchange. We are attracting the largest FDI in the world for 3-4 years consecutively. Our foreign exchange reserves have crossed $600 billion. That's a huge amount. We are the fastest growing economy in the world. Our GDP is growing at more than 7%. All World Bank, IMF, even World Economic Forum, Morgan Stanley, all these agencies which invest a huge amount, which on their reports, a lot of amount come to any countries, they have clearly appreciated the India's economic growth model. They have appreciated our RBI policy of post-COVID recovery, whether it is production-linked incentive schemes, where huge amount of money is being given to industries, where almost 14 sectors in the industries where growth can come in the country, they have been supported through the production-linked incentive schemes. Sectors like space technology, sectors like manufacturing of chips, where India had no presence. Now India is giving a global leadership. We have the capacity to launch in a single day more than 100 satellites at a very low cost. And even global countries are using our facility in the space technology. More than 100 startups have come alone in the space technology. Defense, if I talk about defense, 90% of our defense procurement requirement was being imported globally. Last year, 68% of our defense requirement was procured domestically. Space technology. When in the COVID, only Taiwan was making chip technology, and it was because of the restrictions in the global trade. The chip technology was creating a big challenge for hindering our IT and hardware and even automobile sector. Government announced 90,000 crores of investment only in developing chip technology, and now there are several centers which are coming for manufacturing of the chip technology. So sector after sector, automobile, pharmaceutical, our pharmaceutical sector is now leading vaccination. 80% of the global vaccination capacity is in India. Vaccine manufacturing sector. So what I wanted to tell is that whether it is Atmanirbhar Bharat package, whether it is post-COVID way the government has been working on, and even the post-COVID recovery mechanism that the government adopted, there are 3 major economies in the world which catalyze the growth for the world economy. It is US, Europe, or China. All the 3 economies of post-COVID have been facing strong challenges. US is facing inflation which is after 40 years. that level of inflation US is facing. Europe is under recession. China is completely down. And India alone is the outlier at the global level. And because it is not automatic, it is not because government has, it is not because, it is because the government has focused, created a system. The Atmanirbhar package, if you look into how the Atmanirbhar package was delivered or designed, it was in a staggered manner. It did not create complete liquidity, so that the way RBI handled that post-COVID liquidity, squeezing of the liquidity, the way supporting of various industries, etc. It's very important and it is being appreciated globally. So this also I wanted to mention about this. And some more points that I would like to say is that in this current time, Prime Minister, we are working on a governance model which I call as a push model. What happened was that always many people say that many of the schemes were announced by the earlier government also. You have also announced various schemes. But the penetration of the government scheme in earlier times was around, for 60 years, was 30 to 35%. In this last 9-10 years, the penetration of welfare schemes of the government has crossed 60 to 70%, and in some states where there is a double engine sarkar, the penetration of government scheme has crossed 100%. Gujarat, somewhere in Madhya Pradesh, some of the schemes, all these schemes have crossed 100%. What the government has made the difference is, the government is working on a push model. What earlier the government used to do, the government will announce some scheme, then the officers, etc., administrative setup will sit in their office. Those who are actual beneficiaries or eligible for those benefits, they don't know, they don't have any awareness about what is the scheme, how, what are the schemes, how the eligibility will be decided. They will not know about them. Even if they know about them, they don't know how to fill the forms, documentation, etc., where to submit, then run around various departments to get the benefit. These were the problems. What I call is a pull model. The government is sitting in their offices, administrative offices. They have announced schemes, and those who are actual beneficiary or those who are eligible, they themselves have to run around and get the benefit of it. What the first thing Prime Minister said was that we will go on work on a push model, that he identified 115 aspirational districts which were backward district, and he said collector and district magistrate, they were made responsible that you have to identify eligible beneficiaries in your district, collector and DM, and then connect them to those schemes. And this was the way he was pushing the schemes to the 7 major welfare schemes were identified, and in this 115 aspirational district, the collector and DVM were made responsible to identify the eligible beneficiaries, connect that beneficiary to a scheme, and that ensure that the benefit goes to his account. So that was the push model. And now in last budget, the government has gone deeper into that exercise and said that out of that 115 aspirational district, our government has identified 500 aspirational blocks inside those. And we are talking about 100% saturation before 2024. If Har Ghar Jal scheme, in 2000, when it was announced in 2019, only 2.5 crore people had tap connection into their houses. In this 4 or 5 years, almost 7 to 8 crore people have got additional connection, water connection. And by 2025, the government has said that 100%, 19 crore houses will have tap water connection into their houses. So that is the scale, and that is the model through which good governance is coming. So I wanted to say these things. And the last, 2024 is a very important year. I have been to Kerala, I have been to Madhya Pradesh, I have been to Uttar Pradesh, I have been to other state elections, etc. Wherever there is a government which aligns with the center, which helps in the government to implement. Come, come. Welcome, Mr. Surya. State General Secretary. So, the push model is an important factor that is creating a good governance model. Therefore, so after what is happening is some people are trying. 2024 election is also very important. Some people are saying that Indian economy is in autopilot mode. Whether anything is done or not, it will automatically, Indian economy is in such a situation that Indian economy will grow. It is not like that. Unless we have a strong nationalist government at the center, leadership which is decisive, which has a vision, which has put a lot of effort onto the implementation of the schemes, and which is takes care of national interest at every level. I'll give you 2-3 examples at the international level why it is important to keep track of the national interest in global arena is when we are importing lot of oil, almost 80% of our requirement of oil energy is being imported. We are short of oil. And 70% of our foreign exchange of import goes through purchase of oil. And at point of time, US said that they sanctioned that nobody can purchase oil, etc. from Iran. Our government, Prime Minister Modi ji said nothing doing. If it is in our national interest, we have to purchase oil from Iran, we will continue importing from Iran. If US has a financial power, they said that we will not let, due to sanction, we will not let settle interbank transactions settle to dollars. They stopped that settlement. What India said, that our Prime Minister said that we will go for rupee trade, bilateral rupee trade. And at present, we are doing rupee trade with 12 countries. And in the settlement system also, there was a monopoly of US banking system. They had SWIFT software. And if they stop that SWIFT software being used by other banking system, no international transaction can take place. Indian government, our government found out an alternative to SWIFT. They developed their own settlement system. I was on a bank board. That point of time, we developed their own settlement system, which was to counter this sanction system, and we continued import through Iran. Same thing happened with, Russia, Ukraine. It's a recent time. Global players said that we don't need, but Indian government stood with that it is in our national interest. Our foreign policy is now completely aligned to the national interest. We are taking care of our national interest. That's important factor that I was. Similar thing we see the watch of national interest in the India-China conflict. Arunachal Pradesh, there was not a single bridge at Brahmaputra. China claims that Arunachal Pradesh is part of our South China. And they were not allowing any infrastructure to be created over Brahmaputra river. There only 2 bridges were being built, but they were also not, they were stalled bridge because China was not allowing. In this 8-9 years, we have the longest bridge at Brahmaputra in Asia, and it is not only single bridge, there are 9 bridges over Brahmaputra which connect Assam to Arunachal Pradesh. And there are 16 border roads being built and constructed in Ladakh areas. And the earlier government used to say, no, if we construct infrastructure in the Indian side, Chinese forces will come to India. That was the attitude. So the national interest, welfare, Antyodaya, economic progress, global arena image of the country, all these have contributed to a very large extent, and that strong leadership is very important. The double engine sarkar is very important. I can give several examples where the state governments have aligned with the central government. They have benefited a lot. And there are also several examples of the government like West Bengal. They are not even providing data for farmers. The central government want to, through Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, transfer 6,000 every year to the farmers. But central government said, you give us the bank account of the farmers, we will transfer it directly. But the Bengal government is saying, no, no, you give the money to us, we will transfer. So they can have corruption and leakage. So therefore, the scheme is not being penetration in there. So these are the things that I wanted to say. But also, 2030, Indian economy is going to be a very strong. There is no doubt about it. And as I said, the future, we have identified several future areas where what happens is, if you have to grow in the economic field, you have to identify areas where you have strong potential. At one point of time, our IT industries and hardware industry was, because we had a good capacity in that area. So they were flourishing and they were leading good economic growth for us. At present, the government has identified several sectors where huge investment, huge capacity is being built, huge support from the government is being given, and these areas will create good economic growth for the country. And two areas very important that I would like to mention is, one is knowledge economy. Huge capacity is being, because a lot of our career, young people who want to start their career depends upon to identify which areas the government focuses, which areas the government want the growth to come, which areas are being supported by the government. If we align our career to those areas, then our career will also flourish and we can contribute more to the country. So knowledge economy is one area where huge investment and focus from the government is coming for the future. In that knowledge economy, there is artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, green hydrogen energy, then this digital infrastructure, app development, all these areas where knowledge base is very strong. India has good potential in these areas. The growth will come. And the second area where the government want to focus in the identified as future area, new area for growth is cultural economy. That's very important for Tamil Nadu also. Because as I said in my start, that India has a good potential in art, culture, music, dance, festival, architecture, handicrafts, etc. The Prime Minister identified this G20 opportunity, and what he did was, he identified that we will have G20 meeting in at least 60 cities. And earlier, the maximum number of cities the G20 was held in China was 12 cities. Prime Minister said that we will hold G20 meeting in at least 60 cities. Every state will have at least one, and some states two places where they can hold G20. And almost 1 lakh influencers across the globe had to come to India, and he made sure that at these 60 centers, our cultural potential, our culture, all these things, art, culture, music, dance, food, festival, etc., are showcased to them, those people. They will become ambassador to that country, and then tourism and all these sectors will develop, and it will create a big potential for India's growth in the future. So cultural economy is another area. Aerospace, defense, startup, fintech, renewable energy, in the manufacturing sector, toys, this mobile sectors, all these things are very important. There, the lot of government investment and focus is coming huge efforts is being done by the government so that these sectors propel the India's economy. And the last point that I would like to mention is about the challenges that we have. And the challenges are important that the government has also identified. Macroeconomic parameters, fiscal consolidation is, fiscal responsibility is one challenge, where states' debt is very important. The responsibility by the state on the fiscal side is very important. So fiscal responsibility is one challenge. Inflation, managing inflation so that inflation does not go out of our head. Creation of employment is another challenge. There the government is focusing on whether to improve through cooperative sector, through self-help groups, women empowerment, or creating clusters of development, one district, one product, all those areas, manufacturing sectors are developed. So here employment generation, macroeconomic parameters, creating good infrastructure for further development, and at the policy level several changes are being done. Whether it is the in new industrial policy, e-commerce policy, all repealing of various laws which are completely redundant, which are very old. Recently, all the criminal laws have been repealed. Earlier, more than 1,500 laws which were creating hassles and harassment for people, they have been done away with. So these challenges are also in our domain, and states, etc., are being benefited. I have a lot of data about what the government is doing for particularly Tamil Nadu and other states. Those schemes definitely, and we will have a press conference in that, I'll do it. But I tell you, but only two figures that I want to tell you is, there is a narration here that Tamil Nadu is contributing a lot to the taxes and not receiving fully from the central government. I'll give you one figure. Tamil Nadu receives 49.2% of its total revenue from center tax. And what it is contributing is against the average state, every state is getting 46.5%. So the center under the tax devolution schemes devolves based on various parameters as per the recommendation of 15 Finance Commission, certain devolution, whether it is in the form of grant, direct benefit, direct schemes or direct fund transfer, etc. So Tamil center is giving 49% of its revenue, receive 49% of the total tax revenue which is due for any state, and average is 40, other states is 46%. And Tamil Nadu contributes 5.6% of the India's total tax revenue. It contributes 5.6% to the national tax revenue, and it receives 6.2% of the total revenue allocated to it. So there also the share of Tamil Nadu has been taken care of. Many other figures are also there that we will deal in the our press conference. But definitely there is a strong vision by the Prime Minister that Tamil Nadu is a center for creating good cultural economic potential for India. At the global level, whether in the form of diaspora or creating good diplomatic relation at the global level, Tamil people have contributed a lot, and government looks toward them for furthering our global outreach. The global leadership at various, whether it is G20, United Nations Security Council, permanent membership, or participation into RCEP, or participation into other free trade agreement, etc. There is a strong view from the government that we have to integrate our industries in economy to the global levels, everything. So I think there is a good ecosystem that is being created. There is a good reforms agenda that the government under Prime Minister Modi ji is taking care of. the resources are being generated, welfare of the people is being taken care of, governance model is improving, delivery mechanisms is improving, tax collections are improving, and India in this Amrit Kal is poised for a strong, that by 2047 we become a developed nation and we will occupy the position of Vishwaguru. That is the aim of the Prime Minister. And it's after thousands of years that such a situation comes. It is not easy that this kind of ecosystem or this kind of overall sentiment is there, positive sentiment there is there for the country. And we are fortunate that we are all present in this period of time. We will enjoy that status that is going. India is truly potential of achieving, and India is becoming an aspirational country where accountability of the governance by the people is increasing. They want India to